16-35 versus 16-35. Let's talk about it. Today we're talking about these two lenses right here. This one being the 16-35 G Master f2.8 and this one being the Sony PZ 16-35 f4. Now, while both of these lenses share the same focal length, that's about all that they have in common. Chances are, if you've been looking at getting a 16-35 millimeter lens for your Sony camera, you've probably boiled it down to these two options, and for good reason. Now, I've been shooting with both of these lenses for quite some time now, and they both have their own pros and cons, so it really just depends on what you're looking to get out of the lens and what you'll primarily be shooting with it. So today we're gonna load up the camera bag, go find a place to shoot, get some sample footage and talk about the key differences between these two lenses and hopefully help you decide which one is a better fit to add to your camera bag. So let's dive into it. Now let's talk about one of the most important differences between these two lenses, which is price. Now the G Master comes in at right around $22.99, so a pretty hefty price tag, while the PZ comes in at about $12.99, so about $1,000 difference, and there's a lot you can do with an extra G-bar in your pocket.
Well, I think what everyone wants to know now is, what are you going to do with all this money?
I'm going to reinvest my money into the community.
Oh, that's a very nice gesture. What were you...
Now the next major difference between these two lenses is the size and weight. Now the G Master comes in at 1.21 pounds in weight and about 4.39 inches in length. So a little heavier, a little longer, a little bigger, bulkier compared to the PZ. Now the PZ comes in at only 0.78 pounds, so quite a significant decrease in weight and only 3.9 inches in width. So if you're looking for a small, compact option, PZ might be the one to go with. The next difference between these two is the zoom function. Now the 16-35 has your standard barrel roll type zoom, but it is a bit unconventional in the fact that all the way compressed it's 35 mil, and when you extend the barrel it goes to 16 mil. So it's kind of inverted from your standard zoom lens. Now on the other hand, the PZ, which it implies in the name, is a power zoom. So it's all done internally. It has a switch on the side that will allow you to zoom in or out. There's also, just like on a standard zoom, the barrel roll ring, that also zooms in and out. And the best feature about this lens is when you connect it to a Sony camera, you're able to control the zoom straight from your camera. So on the FX3 there is a digital zoom button, so I could zoom in and out without even touching the lens, and let me tell you, that comes in handy. Now for the last major difference between these two and why I wanted to come get some sample footage out here today is the aperture. So the Holy Grail G Master comes in at an f2.8 aperture, which is going to be better for that nice creamy bokeh background, that background separation, and just overall depth of field within your shots. But the PZ comes in at f4, which isn't going to give you as creamy a background, as good of shallow depth of field, but it is still excellent image quality, and for the close-up shots you'll still get a decent amount of creaminess. You're still going to get some cream out of this guy. So now that we've talked about the major differences between these two, let's go ahead and jump into who I think these lenses are better suited for and which one fits what shooting style. probably wondering why we're back in the studio. And a series of unfortunate events happened to me while I was out there on the train tracks. I was swapping lenses, trying to get sample footage, swapping the ND filter between the two lenses, and it took a nasty fall. I don't know if you could see it, but huge crack right down the middle, causing a huge light leak in all of my footage after that. And it was the only ND filter I had on me at the time. So I scrapped that whole plan, threw it in the trash, figured we'd finish up here in the studio. And I mean, we're on the last leg, we're on the final stretch. All that's really left to talk about now is what lens better suits your shooting style and which one you should add to the bag. First up on the list is the PZ. If you're looking for a small, compact, lightweight lens that you barely know is in your bag but still gets insane quality footage, the PZ is definitely the way to go. Now, what about vlogging? Also, if you plan on doing a lot of vlogging type content like this, where you're holding the camera, then the lighter, smaller, more compact PZ might be the way to go. So what about photography? I think the PZ is going to be an excellent lens for photography as long as you don't mind that f4 limitation. So basically, if you don't plan on doing a lot of solo portraits or shots where you really want that nice creamy bokeh background, then this thing is going to be just fine. If you do a lot of weddings, perfect wedding lens. You don't need that f2.8, f4 is just fine because you're capturing multiple subjects at once. It's light, compact, small. You don't have a massive bazooka in someone's face. They're less intimidated. And you can double it as a video and photography lens for weddings. It works out fine. Also, real estate. If you do a lot of real estate work, this lens is gonna be great. You don't need that low aperture. You could get away with f4 for a lot of those shots because you're wanting to encompass the entire area. You don't want certain things blurred out. You want it to be a nice, crispy, everything in focus shot. So weddings, real estate, landscape, nature, architectural, this thing is gonna do it. This thing is gonna do just about everything but solo portraits, in my opinion. Now, you could still get away with some portraiture with this lens as long as it's up close in 35mm. You could still get a little bit of cream, but for everything else, hands down, this lens is gonna do it, and it's gonna do it well. So now that we've wrapped up the old PZ, I almost forgot gimbal work. Now where the PZ is really gonna shine, hands down, is if you do a ton of gimbal work. Not just because it's so small, compact, lightweight, but because you can zoom in and out without having to extend the barrel and readjust your gimbal every single time. So you're out there shooting, you're getting your cream, and you wanna go ahead and punch into 35mm, you just punch in, no problems. Ain't no problems, we ain't got no problems. And it fits on any small gimbal. This is just the DJI Ronin SC2, has the little extendo grip at the bottom. But as you can see, this is just a small, compact, lightweight gimbal, and it fits the lens, fits the camera just fine. And if you had the G Master on there, well, it's a little bit of a different story. So if you plan on doing a ton of gimbal work, this PZ lens is gonna be your best friend. Let's jump into the G Master and see what it has to offer. Now for the G Master, what some consider to be the holy grail of 16 to 35 lenses, and for good reason. This thing is an absolute monster, an absolute powerhouse. And I guess we'll start off where we finished with the PZ, and that's photography. Now, if you plan on primarily using this lens for photography, then I would highly recommend going with the G Master. This thing is just so versatile from portraits and beyond. You get that f2.8, so you're getting great low light capabilities. You're getting that nice creamy bokeh background, that shallow depth of field, and it's just so versatile. It is a little heavier, but if you're looking kind of for a one and done, using it mainly for photography purposes, G Master all the way, hands down. I've taken some of my photos to date with this lens, and actually some of my favorite portraits have been taken with this lens as well. So we all know photography, G Master quality, it's a no-brainer. But what about video? So the G Master is gonna perform exceptionally well, whether it's for photo or video, but it is a little bit heavier. It's not gonna do as well on a standard size gimbal. It's gonna be best for static shots, handheld shots, or if you do have a professional size gimbal that can handle the weight and length of this guy, then it's gonna do exceptionally well. Now, for everyday video, if you're just starting a YouTube channel or just trying to get into vlogging, I do think it is a bit overkill, but if you've been doing this a while, you're experienced, maybe you got a business, you're shooting clients, and you wanna be as professional as possible, then I think the G Master is an excellent way to go. Wouldn't recommend it for vlogging. This shit is heavy. You put this at the end of a camera and a Gorilla Pod, your arm's saying good night. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers do like to vlog with this thing, but you know it's just because it's the G Master. It's just because they want to be seen with the G Master because it is the holy grail. It's the pinnacle of Sony lenses, but like I said, overkill for a lot of people. So let's recap. All right, let's go ahead and recap. So we'll start off with these two 16 to 35 millimeter lenses are hands down the best options out there for 16 to 35 millimeter for the Sony ecosystem. Now the G Master, I'm gonna recommend to professionals, people that are doing client work and really trying to grow their business and be as professional as possible. Or if you do a lot of portrait work, solo portraiture, and just kind of need a one and done lens that can do everything under the sun, G Master it is. Now, for probably 90% of you out there, maybe you're just starting to get into video, maybe some YouTube, maybe some vlogging, PZ is gonna be excellent. If you do weddings or real estate or any type of photography outside of solo portraiture or shots where you really want that nice creamy bokeh background, the PZ is gonna shine. If you're a lightweight traveler like me and you want excellent video quality without sacrificing your back or your bag, PZ. So I'm sure you guys can tell I love the PZ. It's a phenomenal lens, but I do also love my G Master. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully I helped you in your journey on selecting one of these to add to your bag. If you got any further questions, comments, queries, concerns, drop them below. I will get back to you. If you like the video, then like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.